Hey guys, Gacha Neko here, and today we're gonna be talking about conditions in Uma Musume. And, they could be amazing buffs or minor nuisances, or, just pure run killers. So let's break it down from the good to the bad and to the ugly ones. Now, first of all, what are conditions? Now, conditions can be like a positive passive buff that is given to you or to the Umas depending on what events come. Now this could be from training events, from resting and getting sleep deprived, or it could be from failing a training. These could negatively impact you, or it could positively impact you if you choose the right dialogues. Now we're gonna talk about the good conditions, as these are the ones that will make your career much easier and give you those perfect runs that you need. First condition we want to talk about is charming. Now charming increases the friendship bond gain by 2. Even though this may seem small, this is often really good as it increases your bond meter quickly whenever there's a lot of training in the training event that you're doing, and it gives you those rainbow much more faster, which is really good. Now you could get from the acupuncturist event if you choose the 4th dialogue, which is called Charming Chakra, and that has like a 90% success if you do it and a 10% failure. But if you do get it, it could quickly snowball into getting more stats in the long run. Now, you can also get Charming from 2 SSR support cards, which is Sweet Tosho and Nishino Flower. Now, I don't really know about Nishino Flowers, but I do know about Sweet Tosho. So if you get this event called A Wonderful Mistake, you have 2 dialogues to choose from, and one of it is called Let's Look for It Together. And you would get a Charming effect with a +5 bond with Sweet, which is a nice bonus in the early run. Now, if you do get Charming at the end of your run, I wouldn't say it impacts you a lot, but if you do get it in like your first debut race or the race after it, it is really good. Now, the second condition that I'm gonna be talking about is Fast Learner, which reduces the cost of all skills by 10%. And this applies to gold skills, blue skills, and all the skills in the shop. Now, while it's not confirmed whether this stacks past a 40% skill hint cap, it's super valuable for grabbing those skills. Now, these can be earned through random training events, so be aware. Now, another condition that I'd like to talk about is Hot Topic. At that time, I didn't even know what this was, but now I finally understand what it is. So what it does is it increases the bond game with the director Akikawa and reporter Otonashi by 40%. Now, considering how slow their bond builds are normally, this condition is a game changer for unlocking their, stat boost early on into the game. The 4th condition that I'm going to be talking about is Practice Perfect. Now, there's actually 2 tiers for this, which is pretty shocking. Now, the first one reduces the training failure rate by 2%, and the second one, the better tier, is 4%. Now that is a big change if you do get the second tier, but this is often obtained after recovering from a practice poor or from a random training event. And one of it is from Fine Motion if you click on the 3rd option of the dialogue for one of the event. I'm not too sure which one it is, but it is really good. I would not say that Practice Perfect is that huge, but it's pretty helpful during camps or high risk stat training. So if you like gambling, sure, I guess it's good. Now the last condition that I'm gonna be talking about is only exclusive for Super Creek. It is called Shining Brightly, which is earned after winning the Kikuka show, and it greatly reduces training failure rate. It's pretty niche, and I say it's pretty powerful if you're playing for Super Creek, so definitely keep in mind. On the topic of Super Creek, there is a negative condition for Shining Brightly, which is called Under the Weather, and this increases the training failure rate by 5%. And this happens if you participate in the objective race game called Sumiri Stakes, so be aware of that one. Now, since we are talking about bad conditions, let's talk about all of the bad conditions. Bad conditions aren't run ending or career ending, but they can definitely throw off your tempo or groove. Now, the first one that I'm going to be talking about is Practice Poor. Now, as you can already tell, it's very similar to Practice Perfect, but instead it just adds a +2 failure rate on all training, and that's pretty much it. Now, you can get rid of Practice Poor by getting a Practice Perfect, which you could get from a random training event, so I wouldn't really panic, or you could just go to the infirmary and quickly fix that up. Now, the second one will be called Night Owl, and this randomly drains your energy by 10, which is pretty annoying, but it's not a major threat. So if you get this when you're prepping for races, like right before the race, it could be detrimental. But you can remove this by RNG if you click on the rest and get the plus 70 energy rest event, and that's pretty lucky if you did get it. Or you could just clear it by going to the infirmary. Now the third one that I'm going to be talking about is called migraine. And this one is as annoying as Night Owl. Instead of changing its energy, it prevents your mood from increasing at all. However, it can decrease. Now the only way you can fix this is going to the infirmary, but let's just say if you have like already good mood, then I think it's fine to keep it as it is. Alright, so for the last bad condition we're gonna talk about is called dry skin or skin outbreak. Now what it does is it randomly drops your mood by 1 stage. Now, I haven't encountered it, or I don't know if this is like a known condition that tells you and it's just like passively there, because I do have those cases where, you know, my mood randomly drops, so I don't know if that is the dry skin one. Now this can be offset by training mood boosts or, you know, RNG events, so I wouldn't say it's worth stressing over unless you're right before a big race. So now we're gonna talk about the worst possible conditions. Like, these are career enders, you know, conditions that like demand immediate removal from the infirmary. Now the first one we're going to be talking about is called slow metabolism, which completely blocks speed gain from speed training with or guts. Like, you will not receive any speed. Now, since speed is arguably the most important stat, this is pretty bad, and it often shows up from events where your Uma overeats, and you will receive like a dialogue sometimes where it says like, does your Uma want to eat a little bit or a lot? And if you choose the second one, you usually get slow metabolism. Now, if your speed is, you know, already high, I wouldn't really say that it's game ending, but it is really annoying. Now, the second one that I'm gonna be talking about is Slacker. Even though it doesn't sound as bad as slow metabolism, what it does is it makes your character, you know, randomly skip a training. And what's worse is it doesn't always disappear after one visit to the infirmary. If this hits during June of your year 2nd or 3rd, it can ruin your summer camp, which is one of the most critical stat boosts in the game. There is no infirmary during the summer camp, so that's why Slacker is really bad. Now, the only way to cure it is like do it right before the summer camp, go to the infirmary and try to get rid of it as soon as possible. But that is pretty much all of the conditions that I have talked about. We talked about the best ones, the worst ones, and the game-ending ones. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and if you do, please subscribe and hit the like button. And I'm seeing a lot of growth in my channel now, so if we could get to, you know, 15 subs, that'll, you know, be great. Anyways, comment below which of the conditions is the worst one, because I'm pretty interested in your guys' opinion. So that's all I gotta say. Peace out.